Good morning, Doc, and good morning, classmates. I am Erica Mipino, and our lesson for today is all about children with social, emotional, and behavioral disorders. My assigned topic are define social, emotional, and behavioral disorders. And second is prevalence of social, emotional, and behavioral disorders. And lastly is the causes of social, emotional, and behavioral disorders. Social disorders or social anxiety disorder, also called social phobia, is a mental health condition. It is an intense, persistent fear of being watched and judged by others. This fear can affect your work, school, and your day-by-day activities. It can even make it hard to make and keep friends. Social anxiety disorder or social phobia is a disorder that involves intense anxiety or fear about various social situations. Most people deal with some degree of anxiety to interfere with work or one's personal life. So for me, it's normal to feel nervous in some social situations. For example, going on a date or giving a presentation may cause that feeling of butterflies in your stomach. But in social anxiety disorder, also called social phobia, is everyday interaction cause significant anxiety, self-consciousness, and embarrassment because you fear being scrutinized or judged negatively by others. In social anxiety disorder, fear and anxiety lead to avoidance that can disrupt your life. Severe stress can affect your relationships, daily routines, work, school, or other activities. Social anxiety disorder can be a chronic mental health condition. But learning coping skills in psychotherapy and taking medications can help you gain confidence and improve your ability to interact with others. Emotional disorders or depressive and anxiety disorders are a set of chronic and often recurrent psychiatric disorders that are associated with significant impairment in quality of life, productivity, and interpersonal functioning. These disorders, also called affective disorders, involve persistent feelings or sadness or periods of feeling overly happy or fluctuations from extreme happiness to extreme sadness. As evident in IDEA's definition, emotional disturbance or emotional disorders can affect an individual areas beyond the emotional, depending on the specific mental disorder involved. A person's physical, social, or cognitive skills may also be affected. Mental illnesses are medical conditions that disrupt a person's thinking, feeling, mood, ability to relate to others, and daily functioning. Behavioral disorders involve a pattern of disruptive behaviors in children that last for at least 6 months and cause problems in school, at home, and in social situations. Nearly everyone shows some of these behaviors at times, but behavior disorders are more serious. Behavioral disorders typically develop in childhood or adolescence, while some behavioral issues may be normal in children. Those who have behavioral disorders develop chronic patterns of aggression, defiance, disruption, and hostility. Children with behavioral disorders may develop personality disorders, depression, or bipolar disorder as adults. So let's tackle about the prevalence of social disorder or social phobia. To estimate how common social anxiety is, Ronald Kessler and his colleagues conducted interviews of nearly 10,000 adults across the United States. They asked these individuals about their symptoms of social anxiety and other psychiatric conditions. About 1 in 8 people, or 12.1%, have suffered from social anxiety disorder at some time in their life. This is called lifetime prevalence. In a given year, about 7 out of every 100, or approximately 15 people, suffer from social anxiety disorder. This is called 12-month prevalence. So the prevalence of behavioral disorders. So serious emotional disturbance affects 10% of US children suffer from serious emotional disturbance or SED and are likely to require treatment or referral to appropriate mental health services. A finding that speaks to the larger problem of the short age of child psychiatrists. At least 1 and 10% or about 6 million people has a serious emotional disturbance at some point in their life. On October 23 to 24, 2000, DHHS DHHS convened a multidisciplinary group of experts from fields including mental health, public health, and epidemiology. So the prevalence of behavioral disorders or behavior problems, anxiety, and depression are the most commonly diagnosed mental disorders in children. 7.4% of children aged 3 to 17 years, approximately 4.5 million, have a diagnosed behavior problem. 7.1% of children aged 3 to 17 years, approximately 4.4 million, have diagnosed anxiety. 3.2% of children aged 3 to 17 years, approximately 1.9 million, have diagnosed and depression. So the causes of social disorders, like many other mental health conditions, social anxiety disorder likely arises from a complex interaction of biological and environmental factors. Possible causes include inherited traits, brain structure, and environment. Inherited traits, anxiety disorders tend to run in families. However, it isn't entirely clear how much of this may be due to genetics or how much is due to learned behavior. So, brain structure, a structure in the brain called the amygdala may play a role in controlling the fear response. People who have an overactive amygdala may have a heightened fear response, causing increased anxiety in social situations. So, the amygdala is especially important in the development of fear, and reflexive fear reactions are due in part of the functioning of the amygdala. So, the amygdala also enables the brain to transform short-term memories into long-term memories, a process called memory consolidation. So, environment. Social anxiety disorder may be learned behavior. Some people may develop significant anxiety after an unpleasant or embarrassing social situation. Also, there may be an association between the social anxiety disorder and parents who either model anxious behavior in social situations or are more controlling or overprotective of their children. So, causes of emotional disorders. There may be several underlying factors depending on the type of disorder. Various genetic, biological, environmental, and other factors have been associated with mood disorders. So, risk factors include family history, previous diagnosis of a mood disorder, trauma, stress, or major life changes in the case of depression, physical illness, or use of certain medications. Depression has been linked to major disease. Causes of behavioral disorders. A behavioral disorder can have a variety of causes. According to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, the abnormal behavior that is usually associated with these disorders can be traced back to biological, family and school-related factors. Some biological causes may include physical illness or disability, malnutrition, brain damage, heredity factors. So other factors related to an individual's home life may contribute to behaviors associated with a behavioral disorder, divorce, or other emotional upset at home, coercion from parents, unhealthy or inconsistent, discipline style, poor attitude toward educating or schooling.